So, hello guys. Let's start with the fifth pillar of the leadership qualities or find the leader in you. The name of that pillar is problem solving. Are you all heard about it? But what does it actually means? I'm just trying to uh, describe you. When solving problems, dig at the root instead of just hacking at the leaf. What does this quote means you have to be find out the actual problem, not just hanging out at the leaves. Means not just see the symptom of the problem. Okay, so you have to be find out the actual problem. On the basis of that actual problem you can start solving that particular problem. Okay, now real problems have an implementable solution and make a real difference, and you can be a part of that solution. Okay, so let's see the technique to find out the actual problem. Okay, in problem solving, the name of that actual model or technique is 5 why technique. What this 5 why technique is, first of all identify the problem that you are suffering from, and after identifying that particular problem, what you have to be do, you have to be make a 5 points of that particular problem, that why are you suffering from that particular problem. Okay, so on the basis of that you make out 5 points, and just go deeper in the 5 points and find out one specific point that can be further divided into several parts or several 5 why. Okay, so after finding out the particular point from these these 5 points, you are further divided into 5 or 3 why points, and if you are not finding out the actual problem from that further points, you can go deeper inside. Okay, so you can that just don't stop whenever you don't find the actual problem. Okay, don't just list all the causes that come into your mind and stop. Once you have identified the cause at the first level, ask why for the most practical issue, and then ask why again, so you are able to deep uh, enough to come into the problem that may be the root cause. Okay, and that which has an implementable solution. So don't get stuck at the first level, you have to be go deep inside to find out the actual problem. Okay, now there are several techniques also to find out. You have just find out the problem by using the 5 why technique. There is also two or three why techniques, 3 whys, depending on the problem, that how is your problem, how big is your problem. Okay, depending on that you can use 3 why technique or 5 why techniques. Okay, now uh, going forward, you can also use, you have heard about the name brainstorming. What does it mean? Brainstorming is like that to identify the problem and thinking over it for finding out the solution. Now here in problem solving, what we are do is, what we are doing is, we are use a technique that reverse this brainstorming. So the name is reverse brainstorming. So what is reverse brainstorming? Reverse brainstorming is nothing but reverse the actual brainstorming that you are doing for a problem. So there are several parts of that reverse brainstorming. Let's see that. First part or first point in the reverse brainstorming is identify the problem. As I earlier said, that you have to be identify the actual problem that you are suffering from. 70 of the person are not able to find out the actual problem, and due to which they are stuck in that problem and they easily give up, that I can't do this, or this is not for mine. Okay, so you have to be identify the actual problem. Now whenever you identify the actual problem, just reverse that problem. If you take an example like mm, you have a headache, and the actual problem is headache. Okay, so what you do, you can reverse the problem, that you are suffering from headache, you just reverse the problem and say I have no headache. Okay, now the third point, collect ideas. You have to be collect the ideas about the reverse the problem. So you have to be collect the ideas that you are not suffering the headache. So you are not suffering the headache, it means that you take sleep properly, you don't eat too much at night, you just don't over study, or maybe several parts. Okay, now after collecting these ideas, you have to be collect 3 to 5 ideas basically. Okay, now after collecting these ideas, you just do one thing, that reverse these ideas. What you can do, you have to be reverse these ideas, means that you are suffering from headache and is the actual problem, and then reverse the problem that you are not suffering from the headache. You have collected ideas like you take sleep, so in reversing ideas you not take sleep, okay, properly. And the second one, you do not eat too much, so reverse the idea, you eat too much. Third one, you don't study over, okay, so reverse the idea, you study over, okay, you over study. Okay, now after getting these after getting the points of reversing ideas, what you have to be do, you have to be evaluate the ideas. You have to evaluate these ideas, the last one after reversing the ideas, and identify the solution of these ideas, that why you are not sleeping well, why you are studying over, and why you are eat too much. These are okay. After finding out the actual evaluating these ideas and getting the identifying the solution of that reversing ideas, you are able to solve the problem. It is a implicable solution that I am saying to you. Okay, it's really benefit for you. Now these all are about the 5 pillars that I have discussed in my videos. So now let's see one different thing, that leaders also own the problem. Own the problem means they do not transfer the problem over the other. They just take own self, they take the responsibility of the problem, they take the responsibility of the group, they take the responsibility of their community. Okay, so the trap theory and its reverse. Trap of self-imposed powerlessness and victimization are not considered in a leadership. So just reverse it. The reverse of it is owning the problem and empowerment to that problem. You disempower yourself. It might be lower down your confidence also, but leaders empower themselves. Leaders own the problem that I have said earlier. Okay, so hope you are liked all the session of mine, and you will be surely implement on that if you want to be a leader. And these are the basic pillars of the leadership that you have to be acquired in your life. Just practice on that, and you will be able to gain that pillars. Without practice you will not able to get that. Okay, thank you.